world that is changing so fast and that is full of unexpected events, how can we leverage the value in the unexpected and cultivate serendipity, this active luck? This research is based on the premise that we all love to have plans. But then, more often than not, unexpected events happen and they derail our plans. And then it's up to us to think about how we can turn these unexpected moments into positive outcomes. How can we cultivate serendipity, this unexpected good luck that depends on our own actions? Tom Lindenberger, the CEO of Fortune 500 company Cummins, said nicely that cultivating serendipity is an active approach to leadership in times of uncertainty. But what is serendipity? We've probably all heard of examples like Viagra, penicillin, potato washing machines, finding unexpected love, you name it. A lot of things in life happen by accident. They happen unexpectedly. But then there is an interaction between those unexpected moments and people doing something with these unexpected moments. Take the example of the potato washing machine. A couple of years ago, a company in China received calls from farmers. And the farmers told them, "Your crappy washing machine is breaking down." Why is the washing machine breaking down? Well, they tried to wash their potatoes in it and it didn't seem to work. Now, what would we usually do? We'd probably tell the farmers, "Don't wash your potatoes in the washing machine, it's not made for that." Now, what did the company do? Exactly the opposite. They said, "Well, that is unexpected, but there's probably a lot of farmers in China and in the world who have a similar problem. So why don't we build in a better dirt filter and make it a potato washing machine?" And that's how the potato washing machine became one of their key innovative products. Now, the key question is, around the world we've seen that there is these different innovations, inventions, and way how people unexpectedly find good things, but we wanted to know, is there a pattern behind this? Is there something that we can learn to practice to have more of it? And so the first question to us was, of course, how do we study this? And there's first experiments. Experiments is about saying, how can I put people into particular unexpected situations and then see how they respond differently to those situations? There's longitudinal studies where you look over time what's happening. There's systematic reviews where you look at the literature and understand what's out there. And then last but absolutely not least, counterfactual thinking. What could have happened instead? So what we did first was to say, let's do a systematic review of the literature that's out there. And what we did was to say, what are the key characteristics that make serendipity serendipity? And we identified three necessary conditions of serendipity. One is that there's some sort of surprise. Usually it's unforeseen, unintended, unexpected. But then there's something that we need to do with it. There's some sort of agency. There's recombination of observations. There is some connecting the dots. There's some sort of prepared mind that does something with those unexpected moments. So that is the agency. And then third, there is some sort of value. It's usually about a useful discovery. It's a beneficial thing that happens. And so those three conditions, surprise, agency, and value, then differentiate serendipity as active luck from other concepts like blind luck. Blind luck is all about something surprising. It's usually valuable, but there's no real agency. We don't really do something in the moment. Serendipity, in contrast, is the interaction between chance and human action. So what we've seen in our research is that serendipity is a process. It's not just an event that happens to us, like in the case of blind luck, but it's a process where there's some unexpected serendipity trigger. Things like bumping into someone unexpectedly in a coffee shop, or farmers calling up and saying, "This crappy washing machine is broken." But then we have to do something with it. We have to connect the dots. We have to imbue meaning in that unexpected moment. And then, as a third step, we have to materialize it. We have to turn it into something. So the beautiful thing is that once we look at serendipity as a process, we can influence it. We can learn how to create more potential serendipity triggers. We can learn how to connect the dots. And we can also have the tenacity and learn to actually materialize those things over time. So there's a couple of practices that we can all use to have more serendipity in our lives. One that we've seen to be very effective in our research is that extremely successful people are very good at combining a certain idea of where they're going, a certain North Star, with a certain openness to the unexpected. That allows them to then make the unexpected part of their plan. Take Ajay Banga, the former CEO of MasterCard, as an example. He would say something like, I want us to bring 500 million people who were previously unbanked into the financial system. That's our North Star. Here's a strategy. But I'm telling you already now that if Hilda in Cape Town tells us that something doesn't work for her, we will adjust exactly the plan. And that is not something that derails us, it is part of our plan. Another practice that we can all use is asking people, for example in a team meeting, what surprised you last week? It's a very simple question, but when you ask people what surprised you last week a couple of times, what happens is that they tend to look out more for unexpected moments, but most importantly, it will also make them spot the value in the unexpected. Then farmers calling up and saying the washing machine is breaking down is not just an unexpected moment that you ignore or discard, but then you see that as a potential information point to create something even better. Cultivating serendipity is also relevant for bigger societal issues, especially in poverty contexts, where out of necessity, people often have to create serendipity. They have to make the best out of nothing or out of unexpected moments. And so it's extremely interesting to see how this also allows us to create spaces for people to have more dignity, to create their own active luck. So in all, serendipity is all about potentiality. It's about what could be. It comes back to one of my favorite quotes from Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, who used to say that if you take someone as they are, you make them worse, but if you take them as what they could be, you make them capable of becoming what they can be. And that's what serendipity is all about. It's about seeing a little bit more in a moment, especially in unexpected moments, and then connecting the dots and materializing all that potential that could have been there in that particular moment.